So you got your mortgage amount of what your payment's going to be. Is that really what your house is going to cost?
That's what we're talking about today.
Welcome to the Utah Real Estate Show podcast, the show where two agents and a lender teach real estate best practices by talking through mistakes we've seen and made.
So there's a lot of costs of ownership, and some of that stuff can be dialed down and tweaked and moved a little bit, but you have to understand that's on top of your mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Your monthly payment.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Utah Real Estate Show. I am Tyler Kazare, Utah Real Estate Agent.
Jason Christiansen, mortgage lender.
Aric Wist, Utah Real Estate Agent.
And in today's episode, we are talking about the costs associated with running a house. Now, there's a few things that kind of make sense, like your mortgage.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that people may not think about. And this episode is to help all those 20-somethings out there who've never owned a house.
Or 40-somethings.
Or 40-somethings who've never owned a house, know what it means to own a house.
Yeah, well, and the other side of that is like, hey, what's my payment? Like the first thing, Aric, when he bought his first house and gives principal and interest payment.
I'll tell a personal story.
Story time.
Yeah.
With Aric.
I won't tell the person, who it's about, but this ding dong got a lender quote, got a loan estimate, got approved, said I only want to stay in this payment. I said, okay, great. That's exactly the payment I want to be. We found the house. We got it under contract at the price. We got it negotiated down to that payment. We were good. And then I remember, I think it was the very next month or 2 months later, I think we made two payments. I called my loan officer back and...
Not me. Not me.
Not him. And kind of got mad a little bit and said, what? This is not the payment that we discussed. And he went, yes, it is. And he sent back over my documents and he's with circles and said, look, I told you this is your principal and interest. And here's your monthly payment total. Well, I did not know those two or understand those two. And I know that's a video that we just made, but I didn't understand about principal mortgage insurance. Okay. Yeah. Then I forgot about utilities. So hold on. So I knew there's utilities in the house, okay, but I never asked because we were renting a place before that, and our utilities were included in the rent. Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
So I didn't even
utilities.
Yeah. I didn't even think about asking how much is the average electric, how much is the average gas, how much is water and sewer and garbage,
and who are they paid to,
and
internet,
and now I tell my clients, hey, go ask the neighbors, go ask other people, don't ask just the homeowner, because they may be the person that keeps their air conditioning on at 50 degrees in the summer and their AC bill's super high, their electric bill, and that's not realistic. Like, go find out, get some information.
Or 50 degrees in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a big shock because my wife and I went, this is going to be a lot tighter than we thought it was going to be.
Let's break down the payment really quick because your lender wasn't lying to you. Mm-hmm. The mortgage payment is principal and interest.
Right.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And then you may have mortgage insurance on top of that. Mm-hmm. And that will be in your payment, right? You can't split those up if you got mortgage insurance. And then you can elect to have escrows, which is funds paid to account for something else. So like taxes and homeowners insurance.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and that's another home insurance that we have previous videos on that. But that was another one where I found out the home insurance that I had was absolute junk, which is why it was cheap. And 4 years later, I was educated a little bit more, and we switched and went, oh, great, now I pay him even more. But I have actual home insurance now.
Yeah, real insurance.
Real insurance.
So you may have heard the acronym PITI, P-I-T-I. This stands for the principal of the loan, the interest of the loan, the taxes on the property, which are in Utah, they're often paid monthly, meaning they're paid annually, but they're paid to your mortgage company monthly.
Yeah, if it's escrowed.
And then the other escrows is insurance or home insurance. That's the other PITI. Right now, that's a pretty good start. And as you mentioned, mortgage insurance is in there. Mm-hmm. And you may have like an HOA payment.
But that won't go with the mortgage payment.
No, that'll be. But we're talking about the whole expense of owning a house, right?
Well, and then
you're going to have to pay a
utilities.
monthly to the homeowners association, and that might be $50. It might be $400, depending on the HOA you're in. Right?
Yeah.
Or if you're not in an HOA, obviously you don't worry about it. I'm not in an HOA, and I'm going to take this moment right now to pat myself on the back because I love not being in an HOA.
I love being in HOAs.
There are others who love an HOA.
And this is where it comes back down to understanding what you're getting, because the HOA one is one that a lot of people don't like right off the bat because they're having restrictions. But some HOAs cover all your landscaping.
Yeah.
Some HOAs cover your water bill.
Shared common ground that's right behind your house. That's an acre that you don't have to mow or water or worry if someone gets
Some
hurt on it.
HOAs plow your driveways and sidewalks.
Yeah.
And that's not a snowblower or a shovel
So
you have to go make.
I don't have an HOA. I have to mow my own lawn, so I had to buy a lawnmower. That's part of my ownership expenses. I have to pay my children to mow my lawn. That's part of my ownership expenses. I need to shovel my own yard. And because I'm an able-bodied young man in Utah, I also have to shovel the 2 houses to the left of me and the 2 houses to the right of me. So that's a cost in time mostly, but it's the only exercise I get, so that's okay. So these are all expenses that an HOA is not going to have. I mean, you pay. May not have, right? It depends on what your HOA offers. Okay, let's talk about some of the other things. We mentioned utilities. Let's go through really quickly some of the utilities that you'll be asked to pay.
Let's talk
First
about
off
mandatory utilities.
Like internet.
Well,
That's not mandatory.
Name someone. There's more people
I would say
in the
that's
world.
pretty mandatory, but
Just saying,
they don't have water.
Your Netflix won't work if you don't have internet.
You can steal from
you
your
have to
neighbor.
work on your cell phone.
That's true.
Anyway, okay.
So let's start at the very beginning. Electricity, right?
Yep.
You got to have electricity. You need to have heat,
the internet.
which is in Utah, that's usually gas. Not always, but
Keep your
usually.
shit warm enough so you can use the internet.
Exactly. You need to have water. You're not going to make it far without water.
To drink while you're on the internet.
Usually that's provided by the city. You're also going to have to pay for garbage and or recycling, depending on where you are.
So you can throw the Cheeto bags away that you ate
Indeed.
from the internet.
And then you also need to have access. What else did I miss?
Yeah, sewer.
Oh, sewer, yeah.
That's included with water.
You're not going to want to not have sewer.
Typically.
Yeah. And so those are all included. Now, there's not like an easy way to say, well, this is the range you're going to be in. So the wise course of action, this is a very good tip. Remember this. Take out your notepad right now.
Write it down.
During the period of due diligence when you investigated purchasing your home, you have an opportunity to ask the seller, hey, what is your billing for expenses like utilities? What does that look like? And they are obliged to offer you that information. And so that's a really good opportunity to see how
Wouldn't
much
you ask their agent to ask their agent to ask them?
Yes.
But you can also go meet the future potential neighbors that you have and be like, hey, just wondering.
Yeah, how much does this cost?
Well, and I have another client who went from a townhome with an HOA, that had a nice front yard, I mean, it was well manicured, to a single family home in a non-HOA place, He asked about utilities. He got his information. I remember it was almost 18 months later, he came back and said, I had no idea what it was going to cost to keep my front yard looking the way that it is supposed to look. Not extravagant, just I'm not the neighbor who's not mowing my yard and letting everything die or has giant holes in their sprinkler system
Was he
covered
in
with
an
a blue
HOA?
tarp. No HOA.
Oh, because that's one thing you should watch if you're in an HOA. Like, to what level of care does your yard need to be?
Because you start looking at lawn maintenance. Those are things. So there's a lot of costs of ownership, and some of that stuff can be dialed down and tweaked and moved a little bit. But you have to understand that's on top of your mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Your monthly payment.
And remember, and I'm just going to throw this in because, this is an attack on myself. I've purchased at this point four extension cords for hedge trimmers because I keep cutting my extension cord. And so plan those expenses in or just don't trim your hedges.
Cordless?
Or you could get a cordless. There's an idea. I should do that.
I've cut through my skill saw cord twice.
Oh, hey, there you go. That's how
fun.
extension companies stay in business. All right, so let's talk about another area of home ownership that you may not anticipate. What about repairs and maintenance? One of the interesting things, one of the prides of ownership, right, is that you have this house, it's yours.
It's all yours.
Well, guess what?
When your bathroom sink starts leaking,
yes,
you
can't just call up the landlord. Well, I guess you could, but basically your own phone's going to ring.
Up on you and say, go repair it.
Yeah. You're calling me, lazy bum.
It's called, your landlord's name is Honeydew List. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you have a leaky sink, if your gutters are falling off your house, if your roof needs a repair or is leaking, these are all responsibilities that appertain to the home owner.
How much would you budget for maintenance being a homeowner for the length of time you've been Esquire?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah, because
the traditional.
You know how much I budget?
How much?
Do you budget?
0.
Of course. Okay. Well, on one side of the table here, we have the zero planners. On the other side of the table, we have the people who subscribe to conventional wisdom and set aside every year 1% of the current value of your home. So 1%. If you bought your home for
$1,000,
if you bought your home for $300,000,
it's $3,000.
$3,000. If that home now appreciates and is worth now $400,000, now it's
And if I don't
$4,000 a
use
year.
it that year, I can go buy like tools.
No, save it. Save it. Because inevitably what will happen is a meteor will crash through your house and you have to go repair, $18,000 of. No, that's true. That is insurance. We can talk about insurance another day. But hold on to that. Like, go down to your bank, set up an account, call it home repair fund or something like that, and take an automatic draw for whatever 1/12 of that.
No, that's
of that
actually
cost is.
a really good. It's a really good idea to do, because you will have. I don't care how good you take care of your place, you will have things happen every year. It's not if, it's just when it's going to happen, and it might not happen for 4 years, and then everything happens in 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I cut my my cable on my hedgers, and then I flooded my basement. Same day, not just the same year, the same day.
So, okay, you have those things. Those are all things that are going to happen. Then you have on top of all of that, utilities that you most likely are still going to subscribe to. Your internet. Okay, that's another one you may want to research, because depending on where you're at, you may not get the internet that you've been using and used to at a certain location. Maybe it's a Comcast cable. Now you're needing to go to a fiber that's a different price for what you're looking for. Or maybe you can't get any internet.
Or dial up.
I have a home right now that is, they forgot to ask what internet, and they do have internet. I told them they had internet. I actually told them they had satellite internet, because that's what the house had. Well, that's satellite internet. That's not that's one step up above dial-up.
Yeah, and it's spendy.
Yes. Well, they're not too happy with that.
Can't watch
because they didn't know what that was. But so be aware.
Yeah. Also be aware of appliance expenses. Your dishwasher, no matter how good a shape it's in, it's going to wear out if you use it. Your fridge, it's going to wear out. Your laundry machine, it's going to wear out. Your water heater.
Your laundry machine?
Yeah. Do you have laundry in your house? Do you do laundry?
I
call it a washer.
Dryer. Okay, washer, dryer. Machines associated with laundry.
I have a dishwashing machine.
I have a hot water heater.
Anyway,
machine.
These other appliances, those can go into your 1% that you're taking out every year and setting aside.
Sound budgeting advice.
So yes. Yeah, but I'll tell you a little quick funny story. So the person over here on the right who has a budget that he budgets for replacing and doing all of these things.
So hold on, I thought it was going to be a story about you.
No. Your budget that you do every year, okay, to replace items that are broken in your house. To do this, I know his wife might be watching this. He has that budgeted. How long has your dishwasher not been working?
Hey,
Answer the question. Answer before you start justifying, because we all know what that means.
my dishwasher has not worked for approximately 6 years.
And he forces his children to do the dishes in
Slave labor.
homeschooling
Hey, there are
that he's
a lot.
budgeted for and spends that money
There are a lot of character
on motorcycle
benefits.
parts.
There are a lot of character benefits for washing the dishes.
So, okay, what did we learn today?
My key takeaway is it's a good idea to set aside a portion of your budget every single month to save up for repairs and maintenance on your home.
When you're talking to a lender or real estate agent and you ask what your payment is, ask what the full payment will be. What will leave your pocket monthly, not just the principal and interest.
And remember, don't feel dumb that if you didn't think about all of these things. Ask your agent, talk to them, and say, hey, what do you think I should be looking at for this total monthly expense to own this property? Have them talk to you about it, and a good agent will point out all these different aspects and help you calculate that.
If you want to get in touch with us, shoot us a text at 801-228-7687. Make sure you mention the show. You can email us at theutahrealestateshow@gmail.com. You can watch this show on YouTube, and you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you learned something, or if you really love this show, give us a like on YouTube and drop a rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. The Utah Real Estate Show is a production of Hive Collective at Presidio Real Estate, with support from Security Home Mortgage. The NMLS number for Security Home Mortgage is 178787. The NMLS number for Jason Christiansen is 240472, Equal Housing Lender. Not only is this not legal or investment advice, but you should definitely talk to a pro before you make any real estate decision. Every situation is different and should be considered in context. Copyright Jason Christiansen, Aric Wist, and Tyler Kazare. All rights reserved. Talk to you next week. And tonight, crap.
When I was a kid, we had a manual dishwasher, and I was manual.
Wow. And today, are you part of the 1% Club? Watch our video to find out how much your payment is.
What? So,
Yeah, good. Just continue off of that one.
hey, Tyler,
Yeah.
are there rocks ahead?
Yes.
If there are, we'll all be dead.
I was there.
Video.
House payment by any other name is still a house payment.
Same. I'm